I was raised in this church, and I was raised with godly parents. Um, my mom got married when I was maybe 6 or 7 years old, and I had a father figure in my life now. And they always told me, always were always on me about praying, reading the Word of God, and all that stuff wasn't real to me yet. I had the covering of my parents. I never really had to pray. I just felt like I wasn't in need of anything. And so, but it wasn't until I got old enough where I knew how to smoke. I knew how to pop pills. I started learning what the world was offering me. And so I wasn't being a good influence at that time. I already had a little brother and sister, and nobody knew anything, but God knew. And that was starting to show on the outside. I was starting to be more, I was being very rebellious in church and schools, going from school to school to school because I just couldn't act right. And eventually, I got saved. I came back to church, and I was just tired of that lifestyle. And I wasn't out here, in the game rooms. I didn't go that far, but I did my fair share of drugs. And when I got saved, I would have never thought. I've always told everyone, I'm never getting married. That's nasty. Like marriage. Well, I ended up getting married, and I became an instant dad. And with the Word of God, what I read, and every night, praying with Deliza, and reading the kid Bibles and all that, and it shows because now she goes out and she witnesses to her little friends at school, and I just thank God for him, giving me a second chance in life, and he's real, and yes, times are hard, it's difficult, but I always remember what the Word of God says and what I saw what my parents did when I was growing up, and all that stuff, it all comes back. It actually stuck with me, and so if you're not saved, if you have children, I encourage you to get saved because Jesus Christ is the only way that a marriage and a family will work. And so I encourage you to give your life to Jesus.
Amen.